What about Varus?
No one knows. Even fewer care.
Arminius! No!
What's up, everybody? Darren here from College Gaming, and with me as always is Toby.
Hiya!
Didn't expect that. We're bringing you another episode of Road to Rome, a weekly series that breaks down all the latest news and info about Rome 2 Total War. If you like that, subscribe below, like this video, and share it with your friends. Toby, what's been going on?
Okay guys, this week on our Road to Rome weekly wrap-up, Creative Assembly have released a question and answer forum post on the Total War forums that they then released in other places, answering a lot of key questions people had after E3. So I think Darren and I are going to run through this list and summarise the information they've put out here, and some of it is very, very interesting compared to what we saw at E3 and the inferences we made. So Darren.
Yeah, so they've also released like some new information in it that we didn't know before just by answering basic questions. So it's a good question and answer roundup. So the first question was pretty simple: is why are animations so over the top when men are hit by chariots? So a lot of people complained at the E3 video, like as the chariots came charging down the hill and they bashed into the legions, they went probably like 20 feet up in the air. A lot of people were giving out saying
like 200 feet up in the air. They flew.
Yeah, they went pretty high. I don't know the exact footage, but yeah, they went pretty high, and it did look a bit silly, like, but I don't know, that was kind of in the old games as well, but I guess people they really wanted to be like as realistic as possible in a lot of aspects, so they were giving out about it.
Obviously that's currently it is overemphasized at the moment, these things, but in general they do want to keep it over exaggerated, just like in previous games, because when you're zoomed out, which is even more crucial in this game, you can see an impact and you can see chariots have hit your units by them flying up in the air. And obviously, as any of you know that played Total before, a lot of those people will get back up again. It's not like they're all dead or anything like that. So
that leads into the next question: like, are chariots and artillery overpowered? Because you see all these troops get scattered out, like fly all over the place, and they're not dead. They get back up. It's more just to kind of like disorientate the unit and like just to kind of like scatter them a bit.
Yeah, break up formations.
Yeah. I don't really mind too much, like, if they fly up in the air. Like, it is a bit much at the moment, but like they were going downhill, so I think it's just the physics just acting up a bit. So I wouldn't really mind it too much. I know a lot of people were complaining, but I think it's okay. Like, as long as they're not all just instantly dead, I think it's fine.
Yeah, really. Exactly.
Because you spend a lot of time zoomed out, like, as well, probably more than you do zoomed in.
Yeah.
So like it definitely has you definitely need to see that kind of like thing going on to catch your attention.
What would be cool though, it was very late to this, but what would be cool is if they had, in the Total War realism mode, which they always have, if they had stuff like they toned down, how far people flew. They toned down that, the fact that arrows are so black. That'd be cool. It'd be cool little tweak.
Yeah, because they have that arcade style battles option, don't they? Or they used to anyway in the old games. So yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Now it's realism mode, but realism mode just like limits the UI and all these sorts of bits and ammo and stuff like that, morale. Otherwise, it'd be cool if they limited, like, toned all that stuff down to look realistic. Anyway. Right.
So the next question they address is: does every battle have a capture point? So again, people were up in arms again about this. Oh, there's a big capture point top of the hill. Like, we didn't have capture points in real life, even though we kind of did. But there was one on top of the hill in the Nile battle at E3. A lot of people giving out saying like, oh, it's just unrealistic. And even the interviewer was like, oh, it's quite gamey. Yeah, so people were unhappy about that, and they were just addressing this. They say no, that not every battle has a capture point, and like even Rome had capture points in their cities. Only like cities will have capture points. Some battles will have capture points.
Basically, the only way you get capture points, on in normal land battles that aren't sieges, is if you're doing forced march, which is obviously a new mechanic for quickly marching your troops. And if you get attacked while you're forced marching, then you will have this baggage train capture point. But otherwise, it won't be. It'll be same as before.
Yeah. So the baggage train, is that just like having a few little buildings at the back of the map? Is that the idea? Like
from what it was in in the battle report at E3 we saw, the Cleopatra one, I think it was. They had the baggage train. That was the capture point they had, and it was just a few tents and some crates and stuff like that. Just limit, it just shows the supply wagons for the army basically.
Yeah, and the post also mentioned that if there's going to be a baggage train in a combined battle, just to prevent ships just waiting out at sea to win the battle unrealistically. So they've added. That's just like something that needs to be done, because that would happen. So
yeah.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The next question then is, are you going to change the unit cards? Now, me and Toby talked about this in our last Road to Rome. So a lot of people saying they're unhappy with the unit cards, they can't distinguish them enough, they just don't like the style. Other historians are feeling that, it doesn't even fit in with the Roman era, it's more Greek, things like that. But they say that no, they don't have any plans to change the unit cards. And they feel that if you give it a chance and play the game, like everyone has agreed, most of their playtesters have agreed anyway, that it is much better. It's a much better system, and they seem to get on with it fine.
Well, we talked about it before. I didn't mind them too much, but they've made a good point that you kind of need to play with them for a bit to get used to them. But after that, you'll find them much more useful. So we can't really judge, to be honest, until it comes along. And as we said before, it's something that if people don't like, it'll probably be one of the first things to be modded anyway. So it's not a big issue.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy fix.
Exactly.
For if people really want it out of there. Next question is, will there be Blood DLC in Rome 2? So Shogun 2 has the Blood pack that came out I don't even know how long, not that long after the game came out.
No.
And it was I don't know, 80 cents or something, depending where you are, and it just added blood splattering on the screen, pouring out of units. It looked really cool. It added a lot to the game, I thought. Anyway, it made it look a lot cooler. But obviously for the age rating, they don't like to put the blood straight in there, so they've asked, will there be a blood pack in Rome 2? And they say possibly. So I'd say further on down the line there definitely will be, because everybody loves it.
Yeah, there's no reason there wouldn't be. There's no reason.
It doesn't seem like it won't be there at day of release anyway.
It seems like a silly question though, because it's obviously not going to be one of their priorities. It'll be something that'll come out later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question is, why does Julius Caesar change into a horse when moving on the campaign map demo?
That is probably the stupidest question I've heard. Not because of I know what the question's actually intending, but just the way they say it. Why did he change into a horse? Come on. Anthropomorphism, which is too big a word for Darren anyway. But still, yeah, and it's a good answer. He's just a little quick travel icon basically, which I'm assuming any army with a general or something will change it to horse figure. But they said that's still not finished yet, and it's subject for final release.
Yeah, well, they said it's to prevent
release.
the animation looking too stupid, running too quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which in every other Total War game it does. When you press spacebar a couple of times to speed it up.
Yeah, or if
And
you
then they go
just click after you do it.
and fucking Benny Hill across the map.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Also, another thing I noticed with that question is so Julius Caesar's on the campaign map.
Yep.
So, is that going to be in the normal campaign then?
I'm assuming. Well,
Because
I don't
someone
know.
came up with the idea. Someone said on the forums, is there a historical campaign? Can I be given a situation where Rome already has 30 provinces and all
Yeah.
the other towns have a certain layout, and I just play the campaign from there? Because that would be quite cool.
That'd be cool.
Cool thing. Because
That'd be really cool.
yeah. So and you could have your historical.
Oh my god, Darren! Ignoring all of these questions, something I wanted to talk about from E3 or one of the questions asked me because it came up.
Okay.
Might have been from Rally Point actually, but I want to talk about just such an amazing feature for us, especially as big fans. The fact you can create legions, and your
Oh yeah, we didn't touch on that.
No, we didn't mention that, and you can give your legions specific traditions. We don't know what they are yet, but I'm assuming it'll be hardened, they can move faster, or this and that.
Yeah, so,
And
but
more-
this is good. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So you can
then-
upgrade your legions, with traditions and different things. I'm sure there
Yeah,
will be a big
and
skill
then
tree. for
even
each
if
one.
even if everyone in the legion dies, because it's still on the Senate rolls, and you can reinstate the legion. And
I don't
bring
know
them
about that. That's the thing I
That's
didn't
amazing.
like. No,
That's
I didn't
amazing.
like
That's
that.
realistic. That's how it was in real life.
But I don't think it was.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
was.
if 4,000 men got obliterated, they're not going to remember how they did things. You get a fresh legion, they're not going to be instantly.
They did, because it was all kept. It was all kept on the Senate rolls. It was all kept on the Senate rolls, Darren.
What do you mean
They
it was all kept on Senate rolls? How they were
Senate-
trained was kept on Senate rolls. Yeah, I get that. All right, that's fine. But if you
Well,
raise
their
new-
traditions, their traditions were kept on the Senate rolls and stuff like that. But it's not obviously not the traditions aren't 100% realistic. But you said you objected to them, you can bring more back.
Well,
and
I thought it would have been cooler if
stuff.
you have your legion that could do its special abilities. But once it dies with it. Because that's even more you don't want them to lose this cool ability or whatever. So. I don't know if I like the idea of them being able to just carry it over to
I
whatever.
think that's amazing. I'm in love with that idea. I think it's
Because so if you have the 13th Legion, and they're all they're extremely they're 10-year veterans of Julius Caesar and stuff. If they got killed in real life, if they got ambushed, they got disbanded, whatever, the next Legion that comes along isn't just going to be as good as them. They're not going to have that I'm not going to run mentality from
No.
every 10th man dying or whatever in the other Legion.
But they would still have the Legion barracks and stuff like that, which would have a few legionaries in it back in the city or whatever that was, or wherever they were based. They wouldn't, it's not they ever had every single man associated with Legion out in the field to die. There'd still be people there to carry on their traditions and stories and all that stuff.
And their stories. It's once upon a time, you know, fucking Pullo jumped on a guy and bit his dick off.
Yeah.
And now you have that ability. Every one of you. Yeah, so I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be fine. But I just thought it would have been better if it died with them, because you would have had more of an attachment to your legions then. But that's just
Yeah.
anyway.
fair
So
enough.
it just means like as the game goes on, like you're gonna rank up every legion, like or all these traditions, and by the end your legions are just gonna be brilliant.
You
So
might only use one legion.
Huh?
Like you might only use like 1 or 2 legions. I think you can split your army into a certain amount. It's not like a unit card is a legion. It's like,
I know a full army is a legion, is what I'm taking from it.
well, they haven't explained how it works yet. For all we
Yeah.
know, for all we know, it could be like you could have infinite people in a legion or whatever, and it's all just called the 13th Legion. But I don't know. We don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see how that comes out.
Yeah. The next one is, will there be a hot seat multiplayer campaign?
I can't remember what that is.
So a hot seat multiplayer campaign is when you do something and save it and send it to
Oh,
me,
God,
and
I
I do
hate-
something
I
and
hated
I send
that.
it back.
I hated that.
Yeah, I'm
I'm so glad we
fairly
don't
sure that's what it is.
have- Yeah, that sounds right.
So yeah, they say no, it hasn't been added for a number of Total War games. I don't even remember being in any of them. I think it might have been in the Medieval 2
It's
Total
probably
War.
in medieval. Yeah.
So it'll just be 1v1 multiplayer campaign, both co-op and head-to-head. So yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that. I mean, I wasn't planning on playing hot seat multiplayer campaign. I guess it would be kind of cool because, you know, I have some friends that I won't be playing it with that often, but if we could have an ongoing campaign, that would have been kind of cool. But again, I'd say there'll just be a mod that does it if you need it. Like, it can't be that difficult.
Yeah.
So next question is, why is the battle in E3 demo so fast?
Well, it's pretty, as you know, it's a pretty simple answer. I'm sure they've also sped bits it up. They haven't exactly said that, but it's a battle involving, you know, chariots and cavalry and stuff. It's obviously a very fast-paced battle. It's not 2 legions against each other with slow-paced, heavy-moving infantry, and that's kind of as simple as that is. But they've also said they, you know, they're still tweaking the final, you know, movement speed of units in battle mode, but you know, that hasn't been 100% yet.
Yeah,
So that's
well,
subject to change as well.
another thing is, like, you didn't even get to see the entire battle, so...
No, well, no.
It doesn't start off from the deployment phase and end with the whatever. Obviously, the whole thing was cut up for a trailer, like
Yeah,
for
of course it was.
the demo. So
I mean, people are asking some stupid ass questions here.
the demo like lasted like 11 minutes or something, didn't it? So
It's like
video.
watching the trailer for a film and going, "Why was that film so short?" It wasn't. You bought
Yeah,
the
it kinda
trailer.
is. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I mean, the video is like 11 minutes long. I mean, most
Yeah.
battles in Shogun only last like 6 or 7 minutes. So already
Do they?
it's kinda like-
Do they? Do they, Darren?
Yeah.
They do. If you fast forward, they last 6 or 7 minutes.
No, I've fought battles. I have 2 replays of both these videos are 8 minutes long, Toby. So you can watch them
Jesus,
yourself.
we must be like
College
gods.
game
Something
video.
like that. We must be amazing.
Yeah, guns versus swords. Click
Oh,
that
that's
link
shit
below
video.
if you want to see how I did that. Anyway,
Awful.
why aren't there any minimum or recommended specs available yet?
And their answer,
And there are. So
their answer was basically, "You're a moron. Go and have a look at any website," and they're out.
yeah, well, I mean, they didn't say you're a moron. I mean, maybe.
No, I said they
like-
basically said you're a moron.
Okay, so then another one is, if I pre-ordered the game before the pre-order bonus was announced, will I still get the Greek States culture pack? Yes, as long as you pre-order it with someone who's offering that offer. So that's done.
So their answer was, "Check with your retailer. It's not our business." Done.
Yeah. And then last question was, how cool are the Iceni?
I don't remember seeing the IC now.
They're like a tribe that are up in Germany.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't remember seeing them.
Neither do I, and I don't know why
Maybe
this
people are just
question
saying
was
that. Maybe people are just saying they're cool in general. But I don't know. But I don't think we've seen anything.
Well, this
from
is the official response from like your man Craig from
Yeah.
Total War Rally Point. So I don't know. Maybe he just threw this in because he wanted to say like it's his favorite faction or whatever. But
Yeah.
apparently they are the first faction to have ever won by way of cultural victory. So here, this brings up to another point I don't think we talked about last week, is the fact that you can win by a cultural victory now. Now I don't know what this entails. Do you?
I'm assuming it'll be something. Obviously, we don't know 100%. It'll probably be something like, you know, you have to have X many religious buildings or happiness buildings, and you have to have X amount of happiness and things like this, and reach a certain tech. There might, you know, it's like certain tech level. All these things
Yeah.
probably combine in some way to make a cultural victory.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever want to win culturally.
No, it would to me it would just feel like a loss.
Yeah.
I don't want culture in my own life, let alone in my game life. You know, come on.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I don't really care about the culture of victory. I'd like the option to turn it off, like the possibility if you're playing a campaign. I wouldn't want another rival faction winning that way. It would suck. So but yeah, that's in the game.
To the game.
So yeah, that's all the questions from the Q&A that they posted on TotalWarCenter.net. Oh yeah, so I have another thing that we could talk about was just before we wrap this up. This is a map that we have seen from the Total War Center forums. It's made by Darko Atomic. You can go onto Total War Center forums and see where that is. I'll put a link in the description. This map shows off really cool features because he says up in the corner, you can see it says 95% accurate. You know, it's pieced together from all the information we have about the game. So the map is broken up into provinces. In a province, you can only siege one city. All right, so there's only one besiegeable city. Not like in the old games where every single region had a city to be sieged. You can only siege cities. So a lot of people are giving out that towns such as like Syracuse isn't siegeable. You can only just own it from owning the province.
To be honest, I don't know. I want to see that actually in action at the moment. I don't really have reactions to that. But looking at the map, sorry, I do just have to be pissed off for a second. And I reckon those three Roman things might be different families. They might not be, but
why has this map opened that up to you? I showed you on their fucking.
No, just because, Darren. Just because, and if it's not, that's fine. If it's not, that's not fine. But if it's not, I'll be so angry because Greece has 4 starting factions. 4.
Yeah, but Rome wasn't split up like the way it was in the game. So basically, what we're talking about here is the fact that me and Toby want to do a co-op campaign as Rome together. But it's looking like we won't be able
just like we used to be able to do in Rome 1. Play different factions. You'd be the Julii.
Yeah, so you'd have different families.
The
There's 3 different families and then the main Senate. So far all we can see is that it's just the Roman family as one. Although on their website it does say you will choose one of 3 different families. So we don't know if that's like a political choice within the faction or if you can actually start as 2 different factions kind of thing. So
yeah.
We're hoping that there's a way we can do a 2-player co-op.
I'm still sure that you'll be able to have the 3 starting factions in at least a co-op campaign because I'm sure they must know very well how much everyone loved that in Rome 1. It just seems like it would be silly not to give it to people, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, obviously...
yeah, exactly. I know, like, judging by the maps and stuff, obviously we can't see that at the moment, but I just don't know how they'd ever get around that with their fans, like saying, no, you can only play 1 player, so it just seems silly, but we'll see.
Hopefully we'll know more soon enough, and if things go our way, both of us will be able to play as Rome and expand different ways. It'll be much more interesting co-op campaign if we could do that anyway.
Definitely.
So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this week's Road to Rome. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Remember to comment below if you think we've missed anything or if you have any other points you'd like to add for the next week's video, or just comment on what we talked about this week. We should be posting every Friday, hopefully, there and about. And so yeah, that's all for me and Toby.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching and listening as always, and we're back again next week with more Roman information.
See you guys.
See you later. So, as some of you may have seen, some of you may not have seen, You start. Fuck this. I can't deal with it. Okay, guys. So this week, doing our.
What's wrong?
Okay, guys. So this week in our College Gaming's weekly wrap up, Total War. Okay, guys. This week in College Gaming's weekly wrap up, Creative Assembly have released a question and answer style question and answers.
Man, just do what I tell you, right? Say
No, I'm not doing what you tell me. I'm not doing what you tell me, Aaron. You do not control me. I need to go out, but I still want to do this. I'm going to get this done.
you need to be controlled. You're terrible.
I do need to be controlled.
You're just like the little monkey I wheel out for people to laugh.
Don't use Ricky Gervais jokes. Okay, guys. So this week on our Road to Rome weekly wrap up with College Gaming. What am I saying? I don't know. Okay, again. Quick fire. Okay, guys. This week on.
It's not even funny anymore.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing.